Up the pies!
G'day guys, Nate here, coming at you with the mid-season review or mid-season report of Collingwood's 2025 season so far. It is the bye week for us, still some news coming out of Collingwood still, and I thought, mid-season report, good time to do this, and also I think I've bitten off more than I can chew. I'm going to briefly go over every single game we've played so far, go over my pre-season predictions, and just have a bit of a laugh, what I've got right, what I haven't got right, what's tracking well, what's not tracking well. Also, an updated VFL fixture as well. The floating fixture's been released a couple of weeks ago. There's been a few updates as well with the VFL fixture. I will explain a little bit later. Again, I didn't make the changes or anything like that. I'm just going to provide an explanation and updates to you guys here. I'll also provide an update on our injury list as well, and also expectations and predictions for the remainder of this season. Make sure you guys have subscribed to my channel, leave a like, comment, share this video once you've finished watching it, of course. Recommend it to your friends, your brothers, your sisters, your mothers, your fathers, whatever. Whoever's closest to you, recommend it to them. Get that shit out of the way, cheap plugs out of the way. Let's just get into the mid-season report. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with looking over my pre-season predictions. I'm going to display the predictions I put up here. It's in dot points, however. I'm going to elaborate on these in regards to what's tracking well, what's not tracking well, what's correct, what's not correct, you name it. So I made 20 predictions in the pre-season for 2025 for Collingwood. So firstly, I predicted that Collingwood would make finals this year, either 14 wins or 56 premiership points, and would be eliminated in the semi-finals, and the media would call this a fail. We currently sit on top of the AFL ladder. I'm going to brag about that for now. 11 wins, 2 losses, 44 premiership points, 6 points clear on top at the end of round 13. Keynote as well for going over this review or mid-season report. These stats and everything are as of the end of round 13. You are seeing this mid-season report during round 14, so I'm not going to update the overall AFL league stats and where we compare and whatnot, but we're still going to be on top of the ladder at the end of round 14 anyway, but we are tracking towards a premiership push right now, and it's looking like we're going to exceed my predictions of 14 wins and 56 premiership points. I'd be shocked if we miss top 4 from here. There's no guarantee we're going to finish minor premiers. There's no guarantees we're going to win the premiership, but everything's tracking well so far exceeding my expectations. But yeah, first prediction, we're far exceeding that. My second prediction was we would be top 6 for points for, but outside the top 8 for points against. Basically be a roller coaster side was my prediction. High scores, but high turnover scores as well. We are currently 5th for points for, and we're 1st for points against. Now, I am recording this on a Saturday morning, so Adelaide and Hawthorn has concluded. Hawthorn winning by 3 points, 47-44. Adelaide are not conceding high scores, so the defensive scores or points against, that is improving. It is closing in on us. However, we're still on top. We're the only side to have conceded less than 70 points a game overall on average. Half right on this prediction. We're top 6 for points for. We are performing way better defensively. A very good defensive setup. I predicted that Nick Dacos would win the 2025 Brownlow, whether it's tied or outright winner. But as of right now, Nick Dacos probably not tracking towards winning the Brownlow this season. I also did predict that Nick Dacos would be selected for All-Australian. That's 50-50 right now. He's being tagged out of games. It's usually the games that we don't expect him to be tagged that he gets tagged out of. I'm not going to elaborate on my views on tagging. There's 24 hours in a day. I don't have the time to go over that. In regards to Nick Dacos, though, he could very well still win the Brownlow medal. It's not tracking towards it, though, this year. He's going to end up with a Brownlow medal eventually. He's got bigger fish to fry this season. There's a premiership on the table. There's possibly a Norm Smith medal, Gary Ayres medal as well. Who knows? But maybe not so much the Brownlow medal. Should hopefully at least be All-Australian. He's still a top 5 midfielder in the game still. I predicted Bobby Hill would kick 40-plus goals this season and make his first All-Australian selection. He's kicked 18 goals from 12 games. Very unlikely to make the All-Australian side at this rate unless he gets a bench spot if he improves in the second half of the season. He might very well get to 40-plus goals this season. He would need to play all 13 games, so therefore 10 home and away games plus 3 finals, maybe 4 finals, hopefully not 4 finals, but 13 or 14 games to kick another 22 goals. He's capable of it, but it's Jamie Elliott's world right now in terms of being a small forward. Bobby Hill's still having a very decent impact in the Collingwood side. He's on track for 30-plus goals at least, and that's typically his career best season so far. I was expecting a little bit more, but I'm not going to be too critical on this. I also predicted Dan Houston would not make the All-Australian side. I thought he would take a backward steps in regards to adjusting to Collingwood's defensive side and lineup, but still remain a quality player. Dan Houston is still a quality player at Collingwood. He's also on track to not being in the All-Australian side this season. Selected in 2023 and 2024 while playing at Port Adelaide, he's missed 3 games this season due to suspension. The opening round game, carryover suspension from last season, and also 2 games this year for his hit on Lockie Fogarty. He missed Gather round and the game up at the Gabba, so he's only travelled in the state once this season. Yeah, not tracking towards All Australian, and it's going to be very difficult as well. We've got very solid, very good half backmen and also back pocket players in the All Australian side who's tracking towards that this season. Dan Houston, he's not even our best half back player or back pocket player right now. Jeremy Howe, I think, is playing better. Josh Dacos is playing better. Isaac Quaynor's in very good form right now. Harry Perryman's being solid as well. I mean, I don't think Perryman's played better than Houston, but you get, in terms of stats, but you get the picture. But Dan Houston, very good pickup still for Collingwood. It's been, I guess, a bit of a difference in regards to Collingwood, and I don't want to have a sneak diss towards Carlton, but I think Carlton would very much need a Dan Houston right now. I'll just leave it at that. I predicted Pat Lipinski would have a career best year in regards to average disposals and also total disposals, surpassing his 2022 season, where he averaged 22.4 disposals a game in the home and away season. He's currently averaging 17.7 disposals a game and 212 total disposals. He's not tracking towards a career best year, unfortunately. However, he still ranks number 1 in the league for inside 50 kicks leading to a score, whether it's a goal or a behind. So still very effective in regards to entering inside 50. His best game this year, for me at least, was against Hawthorn for 2.5 quarters. He was the sub against Adelaide, but besides that, he's played every other game besides the King's birthday clash. I expect him to return against St Kilda, and he'll remain in the side for the remainder of this season, unless he's the sub once or twice, but I don't expect him to be a John Noble and be dropped for finals or anything like that. I predicted the Triple M forward line of Brodie Myercheck, Dan McStay, and Tim Membry would kick a combined total of 80 goals or 80 plus goals this season, which did include finals. They're currently on 49 goals combined, Myercheck with 23, Tim Membry with 16, and Dan McStay with 10. They are tracking towards 80 plus goals this season. Very good output from those 3, likely heading towards 100 plus goals as well. And if this was a percentage or a barometer as well, they may have to end up kicking 100 plus goals combined this season for us to win the flag. Our forward line is very potent right now. It's not the best forward line in the competition, but they're all contributing. Dan McStay returning from his knee injury, kicked 2 goals for King's birthday. Tim Membry doing his thing with 16 goals, and Myercheck 23 goals as well. He's on track for 35 plus goals this season. Things are looking good for our forward line. That's tracking towards getting 80 plus goals this season, again, including finals. I was being generous at the time, far exceeding my expectations there. Now, this prediction is going to be right regardless. I predicted Jordan Agoe would play less than 20 games this season and would impact Collingwood's chances of a premiership push. And I don't think he would match his heights, and questions and doubts would be raised. This one's correct regardless. Only 5 games played this season. Even if he played every game from here on out, he'd finish on 19 games. So, yeah, very disappointing in regards to Jordan De Goey's just health and body and overall fitness. And doubts and questions are raised at the moment. He's our missing piece in regards to a proper premiership push. We've got a few players coming back in the next month. Braden Maynard, Lockie Schultz, and hopefully Jordan De Goey. I'll go out on a limb right now and say if he's not back by round 22, then forget about it for Jordan De Goey this season. We need him back by probably the end of July. He's going to be in a full running program by the end of June. Expected to return sometime in July. I don't know exactly. There's no clear timeline on his return. Who knows with Jordan De Goey? He's a bit of a mystery, dilemma. He's like Santa Claus. He only comes around once a year. Is he even real? We don't know. I predicted 3 debutants, not club debutants, but overall debutants for this season. The reason for that is I didn't think we would be in this this position, of being on top. Now, I wasn't too sure on who exactly would be debuting, but there was a few options at the time. Oscar Steen, Harry DiMattia, Aliro Smith, Joel Cochran, Charlie West, and Will Hayes. Will Hayes made his debut. Charlie West on the verge, Oscar Steen on the verge, Harry DiMattia on the verge. We've also got 2 mid-season recruits in Noah Howes and Rowan Steele, and I think Rowan Steele could make his debut later this season. So 1 out of 3 so far. So therefore, we would need another 2 AFL debutants from Collingwood to make that prediction correct. If it ends up being 4 or over 3, then that's going to be wrong. I expect a couple more debutants. We've got West Coast after St Kilda. We do play Richmond in a month's time. Might be the perfect chance to play some debutants there. I predicted Jacob Ryan would play a full game this season. He's currently stuck on 1 game, and that was when he was concussed against Brisbane in the first quarter. That was in 2023. I also predicted Jacob Ryan would replace either Jeremy Howe or Reef McInnes if his form or his experiment down back would fail. For Reef McInnes, we know what happened. He did his ACL. Jeremy Howe, though, I mean, he's tracking towards another contract or another season at Collingwood. It was a crazy prediction for me at the time for Jacob Ryan. I don't expect him to play a full AFL game this season. He's contracted until the end of 2026, so it's strange we extended him for so long. He's only played 1 game, 1 quarter of AFL footy. Again, bit unfortunate for Reef McInnes, Jacob Ryan. He's going to have to play a waiting game in the VFL, unfortunately. Now, one prediction that's 100% wrong. I predicted we would lose a combined 5 games to Carlton, Hawthorn, and Essendon. We played Carlton twice, Hawthorn twice, and just Essendon once. We haven't lost any of them. We've beat all 3 so far. We do play Hawthorn again and Carlton again. Maximum here could be 4. That includes finals, and that's being generous there. So 100% wrong on this one. Thank God as well. I mean, we could still lose to Carlton and Hawthorn this year. We could very well meet Hawthorn in September. Carlton, who knows if they make September or not. But this prediction, 100% wrong. Thank goodness for that one. I predicted that we would finally lose to Adelaide for the first time since 2016. We beat Adelaide earlier this year, 10 wins in a row over them. We do play them again in round 23 and possibly finals. Round 23 is in Adelaide Oval, or at the Adelaide Oval. So still possible we lose to Adelaide. Finals as well. Who knows? They just come off a 3-point loss to Hawthorn. They're inside the top 4. They're going to likely play finals and host a final as well, Adelaide, and make finals for the first time since 2017. I also predicted that we would win 3 interstate games this season. Adelaide Oval for Gather Round, Gabba, and Optus Stadium. So there's your 3 wins there. We still play in Gold Coast and also the Adelaide Oval. I mean, Gather Round, everyone's in South Australia, so we could open it up for interpretation, but 2 more interstate games this season. If we finish top 2, then we may not even leave the state. So good on us there. I also predicted 9 milestone games for Collingwood players this season. The first one at the time was Jack Crisp in his 250th game against GWS. So that's 1 out of 9. So far this season, again, Jack Crisp 250th. There's also the consecutive games record as well. I'm not going to include that. You'll know why. So Jack Crisp 250th. Jamie Elliott 200th against Brisbane up at the Gabba. Darcy Cameron, game 100 Gather Round. Bobby Hill, game 100 for King's birthday, so 4 out of 9 so far. Ahead for this season, there's still Sidebottom possibly playing 350, Dan McStay 200, Tim Membry 200, Myercheck 150, Perryman 150, Josh Dacos 150, and Bo McCreary 100, and possibly Oleg Markov 100. Markov would be a bit of a reach there, but tracking towards 9 milestone games for Collingwood players this season, 4 out of 9, still a few more to go. I predicted for Jack Crisp he would break Jim Stein's all-time record for most consecutive games played at 244, but he would also miss a game later this season. He's broken the record. He may very well play this season without a break. So, yeah, so that's half right so far. Jack Crisp, congratulations for breaking the record. I expect him to be arrested at some point. Some point. It's going to happen eventually. But speaking of all-time records, and I made a big call at the time that Scott Pendlebury would announce he would play on for 1 more season, end of 2026, and would break Boomer Harvey's all-time VFL AFL games record of 432, I think it is. Can't believe I don't even know what the record is, but Scott Pendlebury expected to break that record. And news recently that contract talks are underway for Scott Pendlebury to sign on for another season. He's on 414 AFL games, under 20 games away from breaking the record. 1.5 seasons left of Scott Pendlebury. Hopefully a 3rd premiership as well. But Scott Pendlebury, all-time great, for us at least. Hopefully pitches himself into the record books next season. Now, we won't know what this prediction is going to be until the end of the season, but I did predict 4 retirees, and I was very specific on this. I predicted Jeremy Howe, Mason Cox, Tom Mitchell, and Will Hoskin-Elliott to retire, and I also predicted Pendlebury to stay, still Sidebottom to stay, and also Myercheck and Elliott to stay on for 1 more year. Yeah, things are going well so far on that. I do expect Mason Cox, Tom Mitchell, and Hoskin Elliott to either retire or possibly go to another club. Hopefully not the case, but Jeremy Howe playing towards another contract. Myercheck on track for another season. Jamie Elliott on track for another 2 seasons at least. Um, might not get this prediction correct for 4 retirees, but maybe 1, 2, or 3. Likely going to be 3 at this rate, but we've got to stagger these retirements. We can't do it all in one hit. Otherwise, we're going to be taking a few steps back. Now, this prediction I got correct, and this is only recent. I predicted Braden Maynard would announce he would stay at Collingwood and be a Pie for life. And that's exactly what's happened this week. Braden Maynard staying at Collingwood until the end of 2029. Sound like a broken record. He's going to be on track for 300 games at Collingwood. Yeah, another prediction correct. Just in regards to the graphic, I'll update this like end of the season. We'll go over these predictions again and we'll tick them off, cross them out, question mark, 50-50, whatever. So yeah, they're just staying on there for now. You can keep tabs on what's right and what's not right and what's tracking well and what's tracking well. Now, last 2 predictions, these are going to be in the off-season trade period and also draft. I predicted that Collingwood would get a midfielder in either free agency or the trade period, and this midfielder would be the number 2 midfielder behind Nick Dacos going forward. Murmurs seem to be that way, with Matt Rial likely being linked to Collingwood. I don't think it's going to happen still, but that's the most obvious one. There's also Zach Butters and bloody hell Marcus Bontempelli. I don't think Bontempelli leaves the Bulldogs. I don't think Matt Rial leaves the Gold Coast until the end of 2027. Zach Butters, however, should be in the mix, but I think there's a few other clubs ahead of us on that, unfortunately. We do need that number 2 midfielder behind Nick Dacos. He's getting tagged out of games. Our midfield group's still holding up strong. We're not winning clearances and contested possessions as much as we'd like right now. We've got Tom Mitchell in the VFL that can come up and improve that for us, but we need a number 2 midfielder, an elite number 2 midfielder. Ned Long, most improved player in the competition, but he's not a number 2 midfielder behind Nick Dacos. We need a dance partner for Nick Dacos, and therefore I think we get someone like that in the off-season. And my last prediction, and this will be correct, probably November, Tom McGowan will get selected by Collingwood, father-son pick. Yeah, that's going to happen. Easy one, end of the season. We'll find out on that end of the year. But yeah, those were my 20 predictions for Collingwood this season. Some of them are right, some of them are not right. Everything's tracking well, everything's not tracking well. We'll find out a little bit more, be more clear on this towards the end of the season. I'll likely go over these predictions yet again, maybe end of September, early October, maybe even November. Who knows? But yeah, just want to start off with a bit of fun, looking back at my preseason predictions, have a bit of a laugh as well. But I'll put my hand up and say I did not expect Collingwood to be 11-2 so far this season. Very identical to our 2023 season. 11 wins, 2 losses at the end of round 13. Similar percentage, similar points for, similar points against. It's very eerie how it's tracking towards a premiership here. We won by 83 points in pre-season against Richmond, 21 goals, 6, 132 to 613, 49. Bit of an outlier game. Richmond weren't able to convert. We were able to convert. Couldn't miss to save our lives, if that's such a thing. But 21 goals, 6. We were 20 goals, 1 at some point. No one was injured, thankfully. We were experimenting with this list. Oleg Markov started. Reef McInnes was our second tall defender. Yeah, things were looking good in pre-season. Things were tracking well. GWS lost their pre-season game in Canberra by about 10 goals to Carlton. They were coming off their 2 heartbreaking finals losses last year, straight sets exit on a 3-game losing streak, technically. Things were looking good. Again, I don't like opening round. I don't like the concept. I want every club and every game to be played in opening round. I don't like these standalone games, like 1 or 2 games in opening round. Last year it was 4. I get it. The weather delay or the weather conditions and delays. And I said this to mates as well in regards to the opening round. If we win, great. If we lose, so be it. Yeah, we lost by 52 points, and I copped it from mates left, right, and centre. 52-point loss, 6-16, 52 to 15-14, 104. Mulligan. If I had to describe this game in one word, mulligan. It's amazing looking back on opening round to where we are now. How the hell did this happen? Looking at how GWS have fallen off and how we've just improved leaps and bounds. The conditions, first and foremost, it was bloody 29 degrees. Now, we won a premiership 2023 in 29-degree weather, so I'm not too sure what the hell happened there. Nick Dacos cramping before three-quarter time. Yeah, my mates were giving me shit for this loss. Collingwood were too old, too slow. Nick Dacos was unprofessional, apparently, for cramping late in the third quarter. Scott Pendlebury was apparently too old, too slow, and washed and overrated. Yeah, I copped it left, right, and centre. It's amazing that people who gave me shit for the opening round loss, their teams are going shit so far. So I'll sip my tea. I'll enjoy the good karma still. I can't believe it's being dragged out for so long. But in regards to the opening round, I'll give it a mulligan. I mean, in hindsight, a mulligan. I said at the time that if this was going to be how it's going to be for the season, it was going to be a long season for us. Thankfully, we were able to turn that around. A 91-point win over Port Adelaide from round one, the official round one. Just over 60,000 at the MCG for Saturday night. Unbelievable how we were able to just steamroll and run over Port Adelaide. We were able to get back our percentage. One win, one loss. Big game for round two. That was against the Western Bulldogs. The Western Bulldogs celebrating their 100th year anniversary. Pulled us out. They hosted this game at the MCG, and we just hung on to win by 6 points. Jordan De Goey's return game. Unfortunately, it was Reece McInnes going down with the ACL injury. Gave us headaches down back. Not just Reece McInnes with his ACL, but Sam bloody Darcy. Contested marks left, right, and centre. 8-metre levers as well. And you got Rory Lobb down back as well. 8-metre levers there as well. Looking back on this game against the Dogs, this was the most important win of our season. In 2021, we lost round 3 to Brisbane after the Sirens, Zach Bailey kicking that goal. That was a game that was meant to be held at the Gabba. This was during COVID. It was rescheduled or removed to... they changed the fixture around, so we hosted it at Marvel and ended up playing Brisbane at the Gabba later in the season. But Zach Bailey kicking that goal after the Siren got Brisbane's first win of the season. Their season was back on track. Collingwood, we went 1-2, and we lost another 5 games, and we ended up finishing 17th for 2021. We know what happened in 2021. We don't talk about 2021, all right? I might do a video looking back on 2021, but you get the comparison there in regards to how important this win over the Dogs was, because had we lost this game or even drew this game, I'm not too sure we beat Carlton the week after, or the game after. I'm not too sure we beat Sydney. I'm not too sure we beat Brisbane as well. Momentum is a wonderful thing in footy. This win catapulted us for the remainder of the season, just how important this was. Now, I still have mates give me shit for this game because we won the free kick count 33-14. However, final quarter stats paint a different picture. Contested possessions, tackles, clearances, they were in Collingwood's favour. You win the contested possessions, you're first to the footy, you likely draw the free kicks. So, yeah, I don't want to hear it in regards to, the umpires cost the Dogs in this game, or the Dogs were the real winners in this game. Fuck off with that. Collingwood were the real winners of this game. 10 goals, 16, however. It showed just how inaccurate we were, though. It nearly cost us this game. We should have put them away in the third quarter, or even early final quarter as well. They went on a bit of a run halfway through the final quarter. There was a bit of fairy tale about this one. We were able to be the villains on this day. Still side bottom. Possibly gets another 3 Brownlow votes in this game. Unbelievable. Still side bottom. Didn't get a Brownlow vote last season. He's likely going to be our leading Brownlow vote getter at the halfway stage of the season. Probably on at least 15 votes. Maybe not leading, but in the league at least. But unbelievable still side bottom's form. Kicked the match-winning goal as well. Very difficult game. Not our worst win, but most important win. Round 3 was the bye. We were able to extend the contracts of Reece McInnes, Tao Jath, and Ned Long. Ned Long being the most improved player of the season. Thank God we extended his contract at the time. Round 4, another important win over Carlton. Not the most important win, but in terms of the arch enemy and whatnot. 17-point win over Carlton. And that was set up in the third quarter. 4 goals, 6-1 behind. If it wasn't wet weather footy on a Thursday night, we'd probably win this game by a little bit more, probably about 5 or 6 goals to be exact. Carlton, they're still a very good defensive side this season. We're able to pick holes in the third quarter. Not too sure. There's not much to really go over this game. All I remember was Peter Dacos raising his fist late in the game. Carlton kicked some junk time goals. Dan Houston got himself suspended. Jordan De Goey kicked 2 goals. It was subbed off in the third quarter. And missed the next round. Lockie Schultz, best on ground, and then does his hamstring in Sunday training. Sunday training. Why are we training on Sundays? I don't know. But Lockie Schultz, very good game. 2 goals from him here. But 3 wins, 1 loss, 3 wins in a row. We're inside the top 8, and we're pushing towards top spot from there. Round 5, we'll gather round against Sydney. 31-point win. I enjoyed this win for the simple fact of our defensive setup. We were able to control the corridor against Sydney. Sydney were on a 2-game win streak. They were still trying to figure things out in regards to Dean Cox being the coach and also just tinkering with their game plan. Ned Long exploded. Legacy game from Ned Long. Ray McCreary, best game at the time. Not overall, but for the season. He was a bit, not under the weather, but just he needed to have a decent performance. Bobby Hill played well as well. Lockie Sullivan had a very good first half. Yeah, 4 wins in a row. The Pies were rolling. The only doubts at the time was we hadn't taken a major scalp just yet. But 4 wins in a row, you take it. Far exceeding my expectations at the time. But round 6 against Brisbane, I'm still tossing up between this and our win over Hawthorn in regards to which was the best win of this season. The win over Brisbane. Now, granted, Brisbane were coming off a 5-day break, just coming off gather round. Now, and it's at the Gabba, so yeah, but this, yeah, but bit of an internal dilemma there, but a 52-point win, 16-9, 105 to 7-11, 53. Made up for the opening round loss in regards to margin, and we beat the reigning premiers. 50-plus point win against Brisbane at the Gabba. Our defensive setup was magnificent. Nick Dacos took things personally. He was tagged early in the third. Now, this was a bit weird. He was starting to get tagged after halftime by Jared Berry. Nick Dacos still having 8 disposals and a goal in the third quarter. There was this talk about which set of brothers was better, the Dacos brothers or the Ashcroft brothers. Come on now. It's the Dacos brothers, not even close. Nick Dacos, easy 3 Brownlow votes. And yeah, we were the best team in the competition. I mean, you can't deny that at the time. 5 wins in a row. We've just been in Brisbane at the Gabba. Round 7 Anzac Day, Collingwood winning by 41 points, 16-11, 107 to Essendon, 10-6, 66. Nate Caddy almost exploding here, 2 goals, 3, I believe. Isaac Kako was lively in the second and third quarters. In fact, I think Essendon were leading early in the third quarter. Up until Bobby Hill's goal of the year contender, that's where the momentum changed. Nick Dacos had an unbelievable first quarter and a bit, and this was Nick Dacos' first game as captain as well for us. I mean, first of many games for being captain for Collingwood. Was unbelievable. Still side bottom, however. Anzac Day medalist, unbelievable. 9 years apart. His second Anzac Day medal. Jamie Elliott, 5 goals and got 300 career goals as well. Forgot to mention as well for Jamie Elliott, 200 career games against Brisbane in the round prior. I was going to say last week. In the round prior, and then kicks 300 career goals. Jamie Elliott was in the form of his life. And Ned Long was doing Ned Long things in the midfield. 6 wins in a row, and we were on top of the AFL ladder. Round 8 against Geelong, 3-point loss. Jack Crisp missing a goal after the siren. Best game of the year, can't deny that. Very disappointing we lost this game. We had opportunities galore in the second and third quarters to put Geelong away. We lost this game. Brisbane got back on top. Patrick Dangerfield had the best quarter of footy in years. We brought out his 2016 Brownlow medal form. Bailey Smith was probably best on ground. He was getting disposals in the back pocket to try and get into the game, and then the final quarter he just exploded. Nick Dacos getting tagged out, not out of the game, but in the final quarter, just 3 disposals. I expect we face Geelong again in September. When that is, in September exactly, I don't know. Now, for me at least, and I'm not sure if you guys know, my family is either mostly Collingwood or Geelong. It's about 60-40 Collingwood's way. Blokes go for Collingwood, the girls go for Geelong. Yeah, it's a very dominant Collingwood-Geelong family. It's looking like 2011 in regards to what the grand final is going to be. Just on this game, everyone played well besides DeGoey and McCreary. And this is DeGoey's last game of the season. Not the last game of the season, but we haven't seen DeGoey since. Bo McCreary was able to bounce back, but we expect a little bit more from guys like McCreary, guys like DeGoey, and also being able to convert our set shots as well. That's what cost us this game, not the umpiring or anything like that. I said this at the time. Don't blame the umpires on this loss. Blame ourselves. We weren't able to convert. It's like the Dogs win. We can't have people blaming the umpires for that. Not Collingwood fans, but just opposition fans. Didn't have much time to regroup because we had a 5-day break for round 9, heading over to bloody Perth to take on Fremantle for Thursday night footy. Unbelievable. We got the 4 points there. 15-7-97 to 12-11-83. Freo kicking a junk time goal with 20 seconds to go. Is it a junk time goal? I don't know, but Nick Dacos was tagged out of this game. I think Freo fans are still celebrating that. Jamie Elliott, though, 6 goals, career best game. Jack Crisp, career best game as well. Redemption game, vindication game for Jack Crisp. Pendlebury didn't play. Maynard didn't play. Sidebottom was subbed out. Lockie Schultz was concussed. We rested 4 players. We were not expecting to win this game. In fact, the first 5-10 minutes, I mean, the way we were playing was an indication that we were not winning this game. And we somehow won this game. -28 inside 50s. we somehow won. 73.7% shot efficiency as well for entering inside 50. That's what happens against a team like Freo, who don't have any lockdown defenders. So for Freo, that's the one that got away. For us, that's 4 points we don't deserve, but we take the 4 points, we get the fuck out of there, we bounce back, and we're back on top. Round 10 against Adelaide, 30 minutes before the game started, saw the news of Adam Selwood's passing, Scott Selwood being an assistant coach for Collingwood. Yeah, this was very tough to digest and process and just trying to get through the game. Yeah, 10-point win, very scrappy as well. Adelaide are starting to prioritise their backline or their defence. They're somewhat sacrificing their attacking game for this, so I'm not too sure it's going to bode well for Adelaide by the end of September. I expect Adelaide to make finals. It's just if you're going to prioritise your defence while sacrificing your attack, then yeah, you're likely not going to win the flag doing that. But 10-point win over Adelaide, 10 wins in a row in round 10. Craig McRae emotional post game. I think the players were as well. I wasn't emotional, like tears or anything like that. It was a very difficult game to get involved in or trying to enjoy when you see the news of Adam Selwood's passing. Yeah, it was very difficult to digest for me. We play Adelaide again, second last round of the season. Adelaide's in form. They're in top 4. So, yeah, looking forward to another decent contest over Adelaide. We had 4 outs for the game against Fremantle. We had 5 outs for the game against North Melbourne for round 11. We still won the game by 45 points, 15-18, 108 to 9-9-63. 7 goals, 17 up until three-quarter time, plus 42 in tackles. Ned Long, definitely his best game here. Probably the first game he's going to get Brownlow votes as well. He might get 1 or 2 in other games, but he might get the 3 Brownlow votes here. Nick Dacos, 38 disposals, 28 in the second half as well. He either gets 2 or 3 Brownlow votes. And Jamie Elliott, 5 goals. So, yeah, what more can be said there? It was a straightforward win. It's usually the games against bottom 4 sides we struggle against. Yeah, we needed this win. Very good as well. I was very nervous heading to that game as well, especially when we were down by 54 points to North Melbourne last season. Looked a bit shaky. We're down at halftime by 9 points, and also our weakest side as well. So very good to show depth in this sort of game. Ned Long, Ed Allen having good games as well, particularly against a side of similar age. Round 12 against Hawthorn, 51-point win. Either this or Brisbane, best win of the season. Jamie Elliott, 5 goals, unbelievable. Nick Dacos, 30-plus disposals. Everyone played well, no doubt. Collingwood's the team to beat, having beaten Hawthorn by 51 points. Hawthorn were coming off a 5-goal loss to Brisbane at the MCG. To win by over 50 points over Hawthorn, you couldn't deny Collingwood's the best team in the competition. And then round 13 for King's birthday, we beat Melbourne by 1 point. I'm not going to go over this game for a few minutes or anything like that. Yeah, it was our worst win of the season. Just things weren't going our way, not in regards to the umpiring. I will admit the umpiring was shocking for both sides, but we've got a little bit lucky in regards to the umpiring. But just certain performances and things like that just weren't going our way. We were not dominating in the midfield, but we lost a midfield battle, clearances, contested possessions. We won the tackle count by 1. And that's been a bit of a pattern as well. We're winning the tackle count. No issues there. Our pressure's been outstanding. But our contested possessions and clearance work, we've lost those in the last 5 games. So 5-game win streak, we've lost the clearances and contested possessions. That's not normal. Hopefully we're able to rectify that after the bye. We've got St Kilda, we've got West Coast, we've got Carlton. No excuses there. We can't lose any of those 3 games. We've got to win those 3 games. 14 wins, 2 losses, at least guarantees finals, and then anything's possible from there. Now, you'll hear people say, oh, Collingwood's peaking too early and things like that. I had a look at this as well. Last 25 seasons from 2000, so basically the 21st century, 2000 all the way through to 2024. Just 5 times a team that's on top of the AFL ladder at the end of round 13 has gone on to win the flag. 2000 Essendon, 2007 Geelong, 2013 Hawthorn, 2021 Melbourne, and 2023 Collingwood. So we've done it before. We've been 11-2. We've been on top of the AFL ladder. We weren't peaking too early in 2023, so I don't understand why it's being the case in 2025. Now, granted, Sydney were on top of the AFL ladder last season at the end of round 13. I think 2 games clear on top, and we saw what happened there with Sydney. But we are not Sydney, all right? We're better than Sydney, and we've got the evidence and history as well to show that hey, we can carry on with this. We play Fremantle again, who are in pretty good form. We play Gold Coast up there. We play Adelaide again over there. We play Hawthorn again. We play Brisbane again. So our fixture's not so good. We do play Richmond finally. We play Melbourne again. Who knows where they're going to be. So In regards to people saying we're peaking too early, or I've also seen people say they're not going to rate Collingwood until the month of July. Peak winter, apparently. See if our bodies hold up after July. Granted, July is not our month. We always lose games in July, but we're 11-2. Give us fucking credit. We had people saying we're too old, we're too slow, or we're not going to make the 8 again, and we're going to have to go into a rebuild, or it's going to look worse than West Coast, or even Richmond in regards to our rebuild. Yeah, just give us some bloody credit, all right? Just a little bit of credit. Just on the injury front, Braden Maynard's still 1 to 2 weeks away. Again, Lipinski, McStay returned. Cal Jath returned via the VFL, and Lipinski will return after the bye. Maynard with the foot, still 1 to 2 weeks away. Ash Johnson's still stuck on 3 to 4 weeks away from returning. He will return via the VFL. Lockie Schultz, about a month away with his hamstring. I expect him to return against Fremantle. That's a Sunday afternoon game at the MCG. Finn McRae, he will likely return mid to late July via the VFL. Jordan DeGoey doesn't have a timeline, but he should be completing a full running program by the end of June. Hopefully returns in the month of July. And we've got Harvey Harrison and Reef McInnes out for the season, again with their injuries. So June 21, that's next week, Collingwood back from their bye, as well as the VFL. But they have released the remaining parts of the VFL fixture. No more home games at Victoria Park or the AIA Centre for the remainder of the season. Just want to give an overview of our remaining fixture in the VFL. June 28, we play Southport. That's up in Southport, so not able to attend that game, obviously. July 5th, it's against Carlton. It's our home game. Originally planned for Frankston or the Kinetic Stadium. That's being moved to Icon Park. So a Collingwood home game at Carlton. I don't get it. It's Saturday night. June 11th, we play Gold Coast up there. That's a 3:35 p.m. start, not 3:55. So 20 minutes earlier. Good luck. Friday afternoon game. Yeah, weren't able to watch that, unfortunately. June 19th, we play Geelong. That's at Whitten Oval. So I might be able to attend that game. I'm in walking distance from the venue, but it's a Geelong home game hosted in Footscray. I just don't get it. July 26th, we play Frankston at Kinetic Stadium. That's in Frankston, so that's a proper Frankston home game there. August 2nd, Collingwood's VFL side, or it's a double header for the VFL. 10:05 a.m. against Williamstown, and then 2:05 p.m. against Williamstown, VFLW, then the VFL. I might be able to attend all three games. So 10:05 a.m. VFLW, 2:05 p.m. VFL, and then 7:35 p.m. is the AFL, Collingwood v Brisbane. The week after that will be the VFL bye, possibly VFLW finals, but that's the Thursday night game for Hawthorn v Collingwood. And then August 16th, the final round of the VFL season, or home and away season, Port Melbourne hosting Collingwood. That's Saturday afternoon. Collingwood will be in Adelaide for Saturday night against Adelaide Crows. Possibly VFL finals or VFLW finals. And then the final home and away game of the AFL season will be the wildcard round for the VFL. So who knows where Collingwood's going to land with the VFL. We lost to Casey by 9 points. Bit disappointing there. In regards to where the opposition are on the ladder for our future games, they're below the top 10. We're inside the top 10, so we've got to bank these wins to at least finish top 10. Hopefully, and the goal, I think, would be top 6. We've got a lot of AFL listed players in the VFL. Our injury list looks good for now. But I do think the injury list is going to be make or break the Collingwood season in regards to winning a premiership. Braden Maynard out, Lockie Schultz out, Jordan DeGoey out. They're the three remaining players, the three missing pieces for Collingwood. I've bitten off more than I can chew, but it's the bye week. I haven't had much uploads in the month of June, so looking to redeem myself. I have a few topic videos as well. I was doing the player reviews and scripting there, and I found a few topic videos to discuss certain players, so I might do that for separate videos. Leave a comment, like it, share it, recommend it, subscribe to the channel. You know what, do whatever you want to do. I'll leave you guys to it. Hoping you guys are having a good weekend so far. Be well, stay safe, make pies out.